Every time I experience a new story from NetherRealm Studios, I don't think it can possibly get worse. But lo and behold, NetherRealm Studios breaks its own records every single time, and always manages to release a much worse story than last time. Every single time. From MK Armageddon to MK9, it's worse. MK9 to MKX, it's worse. MK11 is worse than MKX. Oh, but MK11 Aftermath was alright. I enjoyed that one. No, it wasn't alright. It was just as bad as MK11. Just because it had a likable Fujin in it, just because it had the original Shang Tsung in it, doesn't mean it was good. Those parts were good. It doesn't mean the story was good. And then NetherRealm Studios released the mother of all garbage stories on the world. They released this toilet bowl stain called Mortal Kombat 1. The nerve of them to call it Mortal Kombat 1. Every time I type it on Google, I have to type 1992 after it just to get the one I want. The story of MK1 was so bad that I actually had physical pain in my heart while watching it. And that's not a joke. I couldn't believe that they managed to make something so horrendously worse than MK11. And then they actually go and do it again. They release Khaos Reigns, which is so bad that I'm exhausted. I've exhausted the words of the English language to describe it. Nevertheless, I'm going to tear Khaos Reigns apart bit by bit, and I'm going to expose this farcically dreadful story. 50% of the blame goes on this fool for actually writing pure shite. His ideas are complete worthless garbage, and he's responsible for his ideas. And the other 50% of the blame goes to the chief of the Mortal Kombat team, Ed Boon himself. Now, there are a good number of you who bring the argument forward that you feel sorry for Ed Boon, and that it's Warner Brothers who call the shots and Ed Boon just has to do what he's told, or make Warner Brothers' wishes come true while trying to maintain as much Mortal Kombat as possible. And to be honest, I don't have an argument there because I don't know the nuances of what goes on behind the scenes at NetherRealm Studios. It could be true that even Ed Boon is frustrated, but he's not able to do anything about it. Maybe this is why he doesn't show his face in the combat cast. Maybe he can't bring it on himself to pretend to like what NetherRealm have to do, even though Ed Boon makes silly posts on Twitter, or X. Maybe this is the only way he can hide the pain on his face, and just throw the X posts out there, and then cry himself to sleep in his pillow at night, the same way that I do when I look at the state of Mortal Kombat. I have a hint of this much. I believe that there are signs in Mortal Kombat 1 that show that there are staff members at NetherRealm Studios who absolutely hate what's going on, and that they hate Dominic Cianciolo's abominable story writing. I see the hints of this in the characters' arcade endings. If you pay attention to their endings, you might come to the same conclusion as me, that the person who writes the story and the person or people who write the endings are different people, different minds. If you want more clarity on this idea, go watch my video on Raiden's ending. Everyone knows that I hate this MK1 Raiden to death. This video got pulled down by YouTube for bullying and harassment, and I had to appeal the video to them saying, I'm not actually bullying and harassing a real person, it's just a fictional game character. And after they verified what I said to them, they reinstated the video. It was either this one or some other Raiden one, because there's one Raiden video which I made, which I got really angry at him, because he's just not Raiden. He's not Raiden. Well, if you watch that ending video that I made, that'll explain everything. In that video, I break down Raiden's ending, and it actually causes me to appreciate him and even like him. The person or people who are writing the endings are attempting to undo, redo, or damage control Dominic Cianciolo's garbage story narrative. They've taken the mess that this Dominic guy has made. They're probably feeling resentment towards this Dominic guy. And they like, okay, how can we salvage what this idiot has made. How can we salvage? How can we bring it out? How can we bring it back from the dead? And in my opinion, as someone who's vehemently hateful of this disgusting story made by this idiot, even I can appreciate what's going on in the endings. Really? And that's saying something. Well, now that the lengthy introduction is done, and it was a necessary introduction because I'm going to dig into Dominic's work deeply and show how pathetic he is. How his ideas and his story sucks. This isn't Mortal Kombat. Show this crap to me like 25 years ago. I'm gonna look at it and think, what kind of game is this? I don't want to play. Oh yeah, I'll play it a little bit. It's a little bit fun. And that's it. It's over. I'm not gonna get into this. I'm not gonna be bonded with this trash. I bonded with the very first Mortal Kombat. When you load up the game and you go into the character select screen, the one from 1992, and hear that character selection music, the excitement of, I'm playing this game, and you choose your character. It's fun. This garbage, there's no even good music in this garbage. I'll make a separate video on the music, but gosh, this music in Mortal Kombat 1, in MK11, even in MKX, trash. I don't know who the hell's doing the music, man, but you need to get the hell out of there. Put people in there who know how to make music properly. There was good music in the 80s, the 90s. Look, music is universal. Like, people, you can make good music in any era. This music is trash. None of it's memorable. You can't even bloody hear it when you're fighting with your opponent. Man, put some proper music in there. Put something in there which we can listen to and be like, yeah, this is sick. What kind of trash is this? This music production is absolute trash. Worthless garbage. Get it out of here. The people who made this music, you're not worthy. Get lost. Trash. You're all trash. Half of you are trash because I know there's people in the NetherRealm Studios team. I know that there's somebody in there that's like, this is garbage, man. Look what these people are doing to Mortal Kombat, and we can't even say anything. The least we can do is try and salvage it. Anyway, so we start off with a scene in this dingy looking forest. Cyrax is running along a muddy path with her metal suit, and her footsteps are clanking on the mud floor. Did you hear what I said? Her footsteps, her metal robotic footsteps, are clanking on the muddy floor. Mud. They're clanking on the mud as if she's running on a concrete pathway. And notice how the subtitle says, Yellow Armored Warrior. As if nobody knows who this is. Who are they making this game for, man? Yellow Armored Warrior. This garbage is clearly not for Mortal Kombat fans. What the heck? Who put Yellow Armored Warrior in there? I told you in my last video where I criticized NetherRealm Studios, the team who are doing the promotions of this game. I told you they don't know Mortal Kombat. Why do you need to say Yellow Armored Warrior? Everybody knows this is Cyrax.
Oh, you know what? They're trying to get a new audience in, and the new audience don't know anything, so, we gotta cater to them.
Why not just call it Cyrax? Are people too dumb to see the word Cyrax and think, this might be the character's name? Clearly we're off to a good start. We've got Sector hiding in the trees as if she's Predator. Why Cyrax's advanced technology couldn't scan Sector? What's the point in all them Iron Man scanners? While running away, Cyrax turns a corner, and instead of just running faster, she swings on a tree. That's racist, NetherRealm. What are you trying to say here? Why does it have to be Cyrax that swings around on a tree branch, and no one else? You trying to say Cyrax is good at swinging on trees? So much for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Just stop it. You don't know how to do diversity properly. Just leave it. Then Cyrax goes and does something inexplainable and stupid. She opens her mask.
Look at my face. Look, I am African American. Just so you know, I am African American. Look at me. Look how African American I am. Can you get more fucking cringy?
For what reason? I don't know. Because the scanners are in her mask. If the scanners aren't working, I don't think her eyes are gonna be any good. She continues being a dumbass by asking Sector where she is. When you play hide and seek, you're not supposed to ask where the hider is, but Sector answers anyway. She's confident she won't be found. Sector starts firing rockets at Cyrax, and Cyrax has a close-up shot of her face, just like Iron Man. So original. And then she goes, "Engage friction assist," with a tremendously deep accent. Let's talk about this accent a little bit. So the original voice actor for this Cyrax is actually an American lady, or voice actress rather. Her original accent is American. What part of America, don't ask me, I'm just generalizing by saying American. This means she's putting this voice on. She's putting this voice on for her act. She is over exaggerating the Nigerian or Niger accent. Proper deep guttural accent, as if she's making a caricature of the accent. A caricature. Can you describe it any other way? It's literally a caricature of the accent. I've had people in my comments who say that they are Nigerian and they don't speak like that. What's the point of doing diversity, equity and inclusion when you blatantly look like you're doing it on purpose, but not even respecting the diverse culture you're trying to include? What's the point? Look at Tekken, the most diverse game of all time. They don't even try to be realistic, but they've made so many characters that everyone likes. Tekken's got an Arab, a German, Japanese, robots, bears, Tigermans, all kinds of people. They're not trying hard. They simply made characters who stay the same, by the way, in every game. You go back to some old Tekken and you look for Kazuya, for example. You're gonna know who's Kazuya just by the way he moves, and by his trousers and shirtless top. You're gonna know who's Jin. You're gonna know who's Law. Why do Western game developers try so hard at this and fail? This diversity, equity and inclusion nonsense needs to stop. Games used to be fine without it. I don't think anyone ever complained about this stuff before. You had black characters in games, you had white characters, you had Japanese. Don't you remember Onimusha? That was a good game. Onimusha, Japanese samurai. Jubei Yagyu of the Yagyu clan. What other kinds of races are there? Look in Zelda games, you got like different kind of freaks there. Like Gorons and Zoras. Like, what do you need to be realistic for? What do you need to be realistic for? Who cares if you're represented or not? What do you want to be represented in a video game for? No, I'm talking to the wrong people. NetherRealm Studios, why are you trying to represent different kinds of people in your game? Who cares? I'm Asian. Where's the Asians in there? Well, you gave me Rain. I don't like Rain. I don't want to play as Rain. I know he looks Asian, but I don't want to play as Asian Rain. I told you, games used to be fine without it. Now they just stand out so awkwardly. Look at Ubisoft. They tried to do diversity, equity and inclusion. Well, look at them, they done it the wrong way. Isn't it enough diversity, equity and inclusion to just have Japanese people in a Japanese game, in a Japanese setting? Is that not enough? They had to go and put a black person in there where he doesn't belong. They had to go and make a black character and then try to insert it in Japanese history and offended the Japanese people. I don't know the ins and outs of that story, but I've heard they got into big trouble or something. There's some media fuss about this character being in Japanese history when he's not. Why do you fail at this? Do it right so we can appreciate it, man. Do it right so we can appreciate it. Alright, I think that's enough for part 1. I started off with an introduction and a bit of this Khaos Reigns story, so in part 2 I'll continue the Khaos Reigns story. We'll go through this interaction with Cyrax and Sector and continue on from there. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this, help me get to 10,000 subscribers. Subscribe.